We are on Mediafire, so before I'm gonna also show you how to use this, I'm gonna also explain how to properly download this and install it. So right here, if you click on the first link down in the description, I would actually suggest waiting until this video is finished, or you can just open up another tab so you don't lose this video, so you can just go ahead and follow along. So right here, you see this blue download button. I want to mention that you could also choose your operating system. So if you're using, for example, Vegas on a Mac, you can also just choose right here, Mac OS, and even Linux. So of course I'm on Windows, and then right here I'm just going to click on the blue download button, which is going to straightly prompt this box in just a second. That is going to ask to save or open it. So right here I'm just going to always save it, so I'm going to click on OK. Now that we have downloaded the file, as you notice right here, this is a .sf preset file, and in order to be able to open this file, you need to download the preset manager for Vegas. So that's also free to download. The link is in the description below the download link of this pack, and once you have installed that one, you can come back to this one. So once you have installed the preset manager, I'm just going to double click on the preset, and then it's going to open up the preset manager, of course. Now everything is empty right here, and that basically means that you have to click on the FX chains right here, and then you see all the presets that we need. Now of course we're going to select everything in this list because that's what we want to install, and then right here it says a button, and then I'm going to click on copy to system, and right here, as you notice, this prompts me this box. The only reason is that I already have this one, so I'm just going to click on yes to all. But if you download this one for the first time, nothing will actually happen if you click on copy to system. Just that basically means that it is installed. So now that we have installed the actual pack onto our computer, right now let's go to Vegas Pro 18. So right here I have inserted just a standard titles and text. So if you go to the media generators, I'm just going to start from scratch to show you guys. Right here, media generators, and then at the very bottom, titles and text, I'm going to drag in the default. So now what we need to do first is customize this one before we're going to add in any animations. So let's say that I'm going to just type in my own YouTube name. So then I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Let's say that I'm going to pick 25. That looks actually pretty decent. And then I'm going to also choose a different font. And then let's see which one would actually suit. All right, guys. So as you notice, I just picked this one. This one is not too basic, but not too advanced either. So now that we have done that, we're going to close this out. And if you want to take the editing and the details of the text a little bit to a further detail, you can actually go and select a solid color, which is at the very bottom right here. Then you can insert, for example, a red one, so you will have a background, because if you're going to add in a black shadow, you won't be able to see any black shadow if you just have a black background. So right here, as you notice, we have the text right here. So if we want to select some more effects, we can also add in the shadow. So I'm going to select all the text, then I'm going to click on shadow at the very bottom, and I'm going to just click on this check mark, so we have a nice shadow underneath it. So let's go and drag this one, for example, a little bit further so the shadow is a little bit more closer to the text. I think this one looks actually pretty nice. And then let's also go ahead and add in an outline. I would say let's make that dark red to have like a little bit more of an accent. So let's drag it all the way to the red, and then this marker a little bit more to the dark side. And now that we have customized the text in this way, we can delete the red solid color so that we have the nice shadow and the outline ready for the animation. So now that we have customized our text completely, you can also go and, for example, place it on the very bottom left corner of the screen. So let's go and click on the track motion icon right here. So then I'm going to use this to resize it just a little bit. Then I'm going to resize it and put it on the bottom left corner just to make some sort of like a lower third name style. So now it's all ready for the effect to be applied on. So how do we apply the effect on it? It's pretty simple. You're not going to click on the event pen crop icon to make all kinds of keyframes because you don't have to do anything yourself. We're going to click on this icon, which is the event effects. What we just installed is under the filter packages menu right here. And as you notice right here, it says the color changing text. We have the glitch text, hologram text orange. So let's go and, for example, pick this rotate YouTube transition. Let's go and click on here, and let's click on add, and let's click on OK. So now let's play it back and let's see what it looks like. That looks really nice, but it actually starts off in this tilted way. So if you want to keep it like this, you can just add in, for example, just a fade in, just to cover it up that it's actually starting from white. So let's go ahead and add in a fade in. So let's see what that looks like. It looks really cool. It's just fading out of black, as you notice, instead of this, where you just have text all of a sudden randomly appearing. It looks really, really, really nice. You can also make just one frame of a fade in. That is how our name pops up. It's really, really nice. So let's go back to the menu and let's look for a different one. So let's pick, for example, the top to bottom transition. We're going to click on add. We're going to click on OK. It's going to immediately also replace the transition. It's not going to add anything on top of it. It actually drops down from the top. It looks really, really cool. And this is how you can just replace them. Just click on this plugin chain effect right here with the plus icon. Go to your menu right here with all of these. And then you can just really, really simply drag in your transitions. For example, the right to left YouTube transition. Click on add. Click on OK. Let's play it back. This time it slides in from the side. It looks really, really cool. And that is how you can use this one. Now, I want to mention, guys, in the intro, I did not mention that this one is volume 1. So you can actually also see this like as a part 1. So next week, Monday, part 2 is going to drop. So if you're excited for that one, make sure to just keep an eye on the channel. Make sure your notifications are also enabled. And this is basically how you use this really, really nice volume 1 transitions pack or text animations effect. How you want to call it. The link is down in the description, as well as the preset manager. Oh, and by the way, guys, I wanted to mention that if you want to use this on previous versions of Vegas Pro, that's completely possible since I tested it out on a version of Vegas Pro 16, as you notice right here, and everything loads up perfectly fine. With this brand new version, they are now able to go ahead and read this actual format. So right now I have a clip from last year that was shot on a Blackmagic camera. So I'm going to drag that in right now. In this folder, it says Blackmagic RAW clip. It has this .braw format. So we're going to drag that into Vegas. And as you can see right here on the very right, it also includes video looking very, very nicely. So right now, as you can see, this is a clip from last year when I was recording or just practicing one of the upcoming songs from the album. So that looks really, really cool. So this clip is of course graded just a little bit, but to actually make this a lot more smoother and to edit this properly, I'm going to right click on this clip. I'm going to hit properties at the very bottom. And then we're going to hit the disable resample and uncheck the maintain aspect ratio, just like that. And then we can actually start color grading. So I'm going to press Alt G on my keyboard. That's going to bring up this renewed color grading panel at the very bottom. And that will actually have also our vector scope that we can just make sure to adjust to how we want it. So then if you drag this preview just a little bit taller, just like that, we can now properly color grade our clip right here. So I think for this clip, a little bit more blue tones would actually be a lot more cool, because I actually think that the gamma would be a little bit more of a better choice to not overgrade it a little bit. So let's go and drag this a little more to the blue side. So now that we've done that, we can also import LUT filters right here on the very bottom left. So now we can choose our LUT filters. So let's go and pick this one, for example. It looks really, really cool. We can browse through the menu to see which kind of LUT filters would fit the actual best. This one is a little bit too dark. So let's go ahead and browse around a little bit which kind of LUT filter would look the best. So I think this LUT filter looks very, very nice. The contrast is also brought up a lot with the saturation as well. So let's go and play it back right now. As you can see, it's a little bit laggy, as you notice, and that's basically because this file is really, really heavy. Because this file is only 27 seconds, as you notice right here. It's almost 1 gigabyte big. It's crazy. For not even half a minute, we have about 700 megabytes, and that's because this quality is so insanely good that it's needing a lot of different quality. This one is also shot in 4K. If you look at the project settings, it is 4096 by 2160. 25 frames, and that is the full quality that we shot it in. So right here we also have our vector scope that we can just look, and if you color grade it, it will actually, you know, pop up right here as well. It is very cool that now Vegas Pro 19 is finally able to read B-raw footage. You don't have to go in and convert your B-raw clips first to MP4, for example, instead of B-raw, just to drag it in. That was actually the case last year, and now we are able to just drag it in real simple with our video. It is a really short video, guys. This is basically how to do it, how to apply a little bit of color grading to it. But of course, if you have V-log or S-log, you can just have a lot more options when it comes to color grading. But this one is already graded, so I wouldn't really apply a LUT filter on it. I would actually bring up the saturation a little bit, a really tiny bit of black restore, and just a tiny bit of contrast as well. And then this clip is pretty much good to go. So this is how to edit Blackmagic raw footage in Vegas Pro 19. I'm so glad they finally got the codec in their hands to be able to read these B-raw footage also when it comes to video, and that is how cool and amazing it is. So I actually just placed this film from my camera roll, or this video, or this really short clip, onto my Google Drive so that I can download it onto my computer. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit download at the very bottom. Alright guys, so as you can see right now, I'm just about to drag it into Vegas Pro, and as you can see right now, when I drop it into the preview, it's going to automatically adjust. So what I would actually recommend to do is to go and actually change the resolution to 1920 by 1080, because right now it is the opposite. It is 1080 by 1920. So I'm going to click on this little wheel icon above the preview screen, and then we're going to just fill in 1920 by 1080. That's going to add in these black bars. So right here, as you can see right now, this is just a clip right now if I play it back. All right guys, so as you can see right now, this is myself filming on my iPhone that we're going to use as a short. Now of course, right now it looks very plain. It doesn't really look that colored. Alright, so that looks really cool. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to trim down this part where I'm just going to get ready for recording. So I'm just going to cut right here right when I start talking. Alright guys, so right now I'm going to press S to split it, and then I'm going to just delete that part. I'm going to make it start right here right away. So we're going to pretend that this is of course just going to be a regular video. For example, a short of, for example, a travel vlog or something else that you guys are editing or gaming. So right now, first of all, I'm going to also right click on this clip, and then we're going to hit properties at the very bottom. So then we're going to also disable the resample just to make sure that frames will not be blending together. So now I think this one looks really cool, but you can actually use a little bit of color grading. So I'm going to go to the video effects tab, and I actually cannot use any of my pre-made presets because these are made for my GH5 that I'm using right now as this big camera. So of course, this is not actually applicable to this clip. So I'm going to go to the video effects tab, and I'm going to scroll down until we see the L from LUT filter, and I'm going to drag on the default so we can browse a little bit through. And oh guys, if you want to pick up my LUT filter pack for just a couple dollars, make sure to check out the link down in the description as well. So right here, this is the menu. So I'm going to make this guy a little bit smaller though, because it's actually a little bit too big. So then you guys can also see the preview of what we're doing. So right now, if I'm going to place this guy aside, we can actually browse through the LUT filters, as you can see right here. And now if I just place my marker, for example, somewhere else, you can literally see that the colors are coming to life, and how you can also just grade these. It looks really cool, because if you have to do this, for example, on a video editing app, 9 out of 10, you have to pay for these. But of course, the color grading on free apps are also pretty basic, but they can actually work quite well. So I think this one suits very nice. So if I uncheck it for a second, this is of course after and this is before. The colors actually look a lot more pure and a lot more colored. So now that we've done that, right now we're gonna also add in some music. Now this is just talking, so I would just go and add in like a little bit of soft music as well. Okay, so right now I just dragged in this NCS song, so I'm going to just lower the opacity of the track just a little bit so it's not too overpowering. Now this is myself filming on my iPhone that we're going to use as a short. Now of course, right now it looks still a little too loud, so I'm going to also drag the opacity down just a little more. Now this is myself filming on my iPhone that we're going to use as a short. Now of course, right now it looks very plain. It doesn't really look that color graded or anything like that. So what we can also do is we can actually cut in this video and create jump cuts. So right here, I'm just going to cut away this little part of empty space. So I'm going to just click on here like that. I'm just going to delete it. So this is what it looks like right now. Graded or anything like that. It doesn't have any music or background noise, anything like that. For example, sound effects either. So we're going to also edit this one in Vegas Pro 18, export it out. But this is just a really quick video that I have to film myself just in order to show you guys how to properly transfer the files. How to call another jump cut right here. files, how to color grade, how to add in music, to export it out, add in text. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so that looks actually pretty cool. So I think it's not really needed to, like, for example, put any kind of stickers on it, because this video is not really made to be cartoony in a way. So I think the last one that what I could do is maybe like add in some text, for example, or just a little arrow at the bottom right corner where it will actually point to the subscribe button. So I'm going to download a transparent arrow for just a second on Google right now. All right, guys, so this is the arrow, but of course we have to stretch it across the entire video, otherwise it's going to appear somewhere throughout the video as well. So I'm going to resize this one. So how you do that is basically with anything you use, whether you use like an explosion or anything visual like on the screen, you can go to this track motion icon on the left of that track, and then you see this white box, and of course you can like shrink it down, and then we're going to make sure that it will point to that subscribe button. So if I tilt it just a little bit, just like this, but of course it needs to point in a different direction. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to click on flip vertical. So then it's going to point to the other side. I'm going to also tilt it just a little bit like that until it's pointing downwards, and then we're going to also just make it a little bit smaller as well, just to make sure, because right now of course it looks small on the preview, but if we're going to look this on our phone full screen, it's going to look like really huge. So then I'm going to resize it just a little bit, and then I'm going to, for example, place it at the very bottom of the screen, just like this, so it actually points down. But of course the subscribe button is not below the video, it is on screen, so don't place it here, otherwise the subscribe button is around right here. So I would just place it, for example, a little bit higher, just like this, so it actually points to the subscribe button as well. So let's play it back. Alright guys, so as you can see right now, this is myself filming on my iPhone that we're going to use as a short. Now of course, right now it looks very plain, it doesn't really look that color graded or anything like that. It doesn't have any music or background noise, anything like that, for example sound effects either. So we're going to also edit this one in Vegas Pro 18, export it out, but this is just a really quick video that I have to film myself just in order to show you guys. Okay, so as you can see right now, this looks actually very nice. So the last thing that I would actually recommend is to use kind of like maybe like a vignette that will look really cool, or just use some transition, for example, to a different clip. So what you can also do is you can create like a fade in, for example, like a really nice one, and then also for the arrow. Now that we've made a fade in for both of these clips, right here, as you can see, we can go, for example, to the transitions tab, and then we can like add in like this gradient wipe, for example, a star. So if I drag him on both of them, this is what it looks like. Alright guys, so that looks really cool, and of course you can use any kind of transition you want, whether that's, for example, one of the Sapphire plugin, anything like that. Alright, so this is actually very basic, but you guys of course can make it as really nice as, for example, as complex as want if you want to really make a nice edit out of this one. So for this one, I would actually keep it like this, because this is 29 seconds, but you can use up to 60 seconds. So what we're going to do now is we're going to export it out, and then I'm going to show you how to also get rid of these black bars. Alright guys, so now that we are ready for export, I want to mention that now we have to remove these black bars again, because the thing is that we always use these black bars, for example, if you want to have like a white border around your screen, that you have these help lines, for example, or these help bars. It's kind of as a template to see where you're looking at and what you're working in. So of course we're going to also render this out without any of these bars. We're going to render it out in a clean, transparent part without any bars. So right now I'm going to change the resolution back to how the phone resolution is. So we're going to click on this icon above the preview screen, and then we're going to click on width, and we're going to fill in 1080 by 1920, hit apply, and as you can see, the bars disappear again. And now you also need to use QuickTime 7 as the render template instead of your regular MP4. So I'm going to select everything, I'm going to render out like that. So then we're going to click on file, we're going to hit render as, then we're going to pick QuickTime 7, and then we're going to go to, for example, the standard one, which is 3 Mbps video. We're going to hit customize template, and here you have to change a couple things. The frame rate, we're going to change that one to 59,940 because it's shot in 60 FPS. That's basically your FPS that you want to use. Then the frame size is, we're going to put this one to custom frame size, and we're going to fill in by the width, it's going to be 1080, and by the height, it's going to be 1920. And then of course we're going to leave everything how it is right here. We're going to also go to audio, we're going to make sure that it's including audio, and then at the very end it says project. We're going to hit video rendering quality, we're going to place that one to best, and then we're going to call this, for example, YouTube Shorts exports templates. Then we're going to hit on this diskette icon, and now we're going to go ahead and hit our preset. I'm going to give this a name, for example, YouTube Shorts, and now we're gonna hit render, and as you can see right now, it is exporting in a really nice transparent way vertically for on your phone. So the last thing that we need to do is wait until this one is finished rendering, and then we can upload this one onto the same Google Drive folder that we were right here on our computer, which is this one, and then we can just export it out, upload it here in this folder, and then access this folder on our phone to download it onto our YouTube. So we can download it onto our phone, and that's basically how you can upload it straight directly onto YouTube Shorts. Alright guys, so the file is finished exporting, so I'm just going to drag that right here into my clip. It is completely transparent, and now it is uploading at the very bottom, YouTube Shorts clip 1, and we can just go onto our phone into the Google Drive app, download that clip, and then you can just go straight onto YouTube, hit upload, create shorts, and upload the one from your camera roll, and that is basically how to make these really cool shorts on the Vegas Pro 18, make it a little bit more advanced than just a standard editor with like the music and all that. It is finished uploading, as you can see right here. It's really cool, and that is basically how to do it. Of course, I would love to show you guys how to actually upload these, but of course the feature isn't available in Belgium yet, so that's why I can't show it. But right here, I'll overlay a little clip from the previous video about the shorts, how you go ahead and do that. Just open up the app, you want to hit this plus icon, and then you can just hit create a short, and then you can create it or film it or just upload it from your camera roll, and that is basically how cool and simple it is. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. This is how you create these really cool shorts in Vegas Pro 18 with like color grading and music and sound effects to make it really cool instead of just basic with, for example, the YouTube editor. So if you guys find this video helpful, make sure to reward with a like down below. Also subscribe if you want to see more of these videos, like, you know, separate ones about like the new feature that YouTube is rolling out, because this one is actually a pretty recent one, because this feature is actually from September 2020. By the way, if you want to see the video what the shorts actually are, what I showed you guys today, what to edit, make sure to check out the outro card at the end of the video. Thanks a lot for the continued support, guys. I'll see you guys obviously in the next video.